everyone, my name is Ivana Giovanni Hansel from grade 12, Social 1, Absent 12. Today we're gonna talk about United States. So the first one, we talk about the history of the United States. The United States was originally a British colony in North America. Britain established 13 colonies that developed rapidly in trade and agriculture. However, despite their economic growth, the colonies did not have political freedom. They were required to obey various British policies and pay high taxes without having representation in the government. This situation created a sense of injustice and became the beginning of conflict between the colonies and the British government. These tensions continued to grow and eventually developed into the American Revolutionary War. The colonies united and fought against British rule to demand their rights and freedom. The peak of this struggle occurred on July 4, 1776, when colonial leaders declared independence through the Declarations of Independence. These declarations marked the birth of the United States as an independent and sovereign nation. After a long struggle and various battles, Britain officially recognized American independence in 1783. After gaining independence, the United States faced major challenges in building a stable nation. The country then drafted constitutions as the foundations of a federal constitutional republican system of government. The constitutions regulates the separations of powers, citizens' rights, and the relationship between the federal government and the states. With a more structured system of governance, the United States began to develop and strengthen in national unity. In the 19th century, the United States experienced westward territorial expansions that encouraged economic growth. However, this development was accompanied by internal conflicts, particularly difference between the northern and southern states regarding the system of slavery. These differences eventually led to the American Civil War from 1861 to 1865. This war became one of the most important events in U.S. history because it resulted in the abolition of slavery and strengthened national unity. Entering the 20th century, the United States grew rapidly as an industrial nation. Advances in technology, education, and the economy made the country increasingly powerful. Its involvement in World War I and World War II further expanded its influence on the international stage. Since then, the United States has developed into a highly advanced country with a major role in global politics, economics, and also technological development to this day. Now we talk about the language that used in the United States. The most dominant and widely used language in the United States is English, particularly American English. English is used in government, education, media, the legal systems, and daily communication by the majority of the population. The use of English in the United States began in the early 17th century when British settlers first arrived in North America around 1607 with the establishment of the Jamestown colony. As the number of British colonies increased, English continued to develop and become the primary language in the region. In 1776, when the United States declared independence from Britain, important documents such as the Declarations of Independence were written in English. This strengthened the position of English as the main language in political and governmental life. Later, the U.S. Constitutions of 1787 was also written in English, making it the de facto national language. However, the United States does not officially design a national language as the federal levels in its constitutions. English became the dominant language due to historical factors, political power, and widespread public use rather than formal legal designation. Over time, English in the United States developed independently and began to differ from British English in the 19th century. Figures such as Noah Webster played an important role in standardizing American English, particularly through the publications of his dictionary in 1828, which introduced distinct American spellings such as color, center, and also organized. Since then, American English has been recognized as a distinct variety of English. In addition to English, the United States is home to hundreds of other languages due to large wave of immigrations in the 19th and 20th centuries. Spanish became widely used, especially after regions such as Texas, California, and also Florida become part of the United States in the middle 19th century. Today, Spanish is the second most widely spoken language in the country. Although American society consists of diverse linguistic and cultural backgrounds, English remains the primary language that unites the nations and plays an important role in maintaining national communication, identity, and social integrations. Now talk about philosophy of the United States flag. The flag of the United States, known as the Stars and Stripes, carries deep philosophical meaning closely related to the nation's history and values. The flag consists of 13 red and white horizontal stripes representing the original 13 colonies that declared independence from Britain in 1776, symbolizing the beginning of the American struggle for freedom. In addition, there are 50 white stars on a blue field representing the 50 states united as one nation. The red color symbolizes courage, strength, and sacrifice in the struggle for independence. White represents purity, honesty, and noble ideals. And also the blue symbolizes vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Overall, the flag reflects the philosophy of united freedom and determinations and serve as a symbol of national identity and a pride for the American people in upholding democratic values and independence. The last one talk about forms of cooperations of the United States. We have three. The first one, USMCA trade cooperations. The United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement is a trade agreement between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, established to strengthen the North American economy and update a previous trade agreement. These cooperations represents regional economic and trade cooperations aimed at facilitating the flow of goods and services among member countries. Its benefits include increased trade, job creation, and also stronger economic growth among participating nations. The second one, defense cooperations through NATO. The United States cooperates with a European and North American countries through the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which was formed after World War II. This multilateral cooperation operates in the fields of defense and security. Its benefits include enhanced national security, a collective defense system, and the maintenance of international security stability. The last one, international cooperations through the United Nations. The United States is also actively involved in international cooperation through the United Nations. This multilateral cooperation covers political, peacekeeping, social, and humanitarian fields. Its benefits include strengthening the United States' role in global diplomacy, supporting peaceful conflict resolutions, and promoting international cooperation in addressing global challenges. That's all my explanations about United States. Hi, so now I want to talk about social inequality in United States. Okay, so what is the definitions of social inequality? So, social inequality is a condition in which research opportunities and rights are distributed unevenly among individuals or groups in society due to economic, social, cultural, and political differences. One clear example of social inequality can be seen in the United States, where social, economic, and political problems have occurred at the same time. These conditions have widened the gap between different groups in society, especially between economically stable groups and those experiencing hardship. Based on alternative news source, date on August 13, 2025, Donald Trump acknowledged the high level of crime in the United States amid an ongoing economic crisis and widespread social despair. Rising crime rates, particularly in major cities, were linked to unemployment, poverty, economic pressure, and declining public trust in the government. This situation shows how social inequality can directly affect public safety and social stability. In response, the United States government took several short-term actions. One of the main measures was deploying the National Guard to high crime areas to restore public security. The federal government also strengthened its control over local law enforcement to improve crime prevention and responses to social unrest. In conclusion, social inequality in the United States is closely related to economic instability. Base policies may reduce crime temporarily, they do not address the root causes of inequality. Long-term solutions such as improving economic opportunities, strengthening social welfare, and rebuilding public trust are essential to achieve social stability and justice. That's all from me. Bye!